For a wicked sprint to work, it must be designed for collective wisdom. And that starts with the 4 to 6 months of preparation before the sprint itself. At Socrates, we're experimenting with wisdom design, how to make the collection of wisdom as natural as possible. Participants should flow into sharing their insights organically. We are guided by the understanding that every wicked problem has a cluster of embedded agents, individuals and institutions that both coordinate and compete with each other. Wisdom design in the background, we start with the first and perhaps most important decision of the sprint, finding the right convener. Someone who has the reach and the legitimacy to bring a wide range of stakeholders into the room for the sprint itself. For the Goa sprint, we were lucky and delighted to work with Ajay Chakar as one of the conveners of the sprint alongside ASHA, the Alliance for Sustainable and Holistic Agriculture. We worked very closely with all the conveners throughout the preparation phase of the sprint. The design phase of the sprint is a couple of months of intense back and forth with several online meetings, culminating in a physical meeting to outline the sprint.
For the Goa workshop, we organized a 4-day intensive design session with Bharatiya Krishak Samaj, BKS, of which Ajay Chakar is a part, ASHA, the Alliance for Sustainable and Holistic Agriculture, and our co-organizers, Fields of View.
We started with identifying the key question, which was how to ensure a dignified income for farmers in India, and then using that question to see who would be the key participants in the room to address the question together.
There are multiple, sometimes competing ideas on how to ensure a dignified income for farmers, and we mapped the competing schools of thought and identified their chief representatives. We asked ourselves if the key representatives that were identified would be willing to participate in a collective event. In parallel, we broke down the main ideas of the various schools into their fundamental building blocks. Using those building blocks, we prepared a pre-workshop survey to map the attitudes of the participants in terms of those fundamental features.
We also identified the important data sets that could act as an honest broker of complexity in this very difficult topic, and the game-playing and role-playing activities that will give the participants a visceral sense of the questions at hand.
The next step is to bring in tool partners, individuals or organizations that can help us collect and understand the data, the gaming, and the leadership skills that go into the workshop.
Once the sprint is fully outlined, the conveners go ahead and invite their respective participants. We also identify an appropriate location which is conducive to conversation and is far enough from the daily activities of the participants that they are mentally removed from their everyday discourse.
At this point, we share a detailed concept note, which in the Goa case included a discussion of existing central and state policies and initiatives on improving farmer income. We also shared the pre-sprint survey that we had prepared with the fundamental features of the various points of view in mind.
We then visited the Goa location to see how the space there can be used for our activities. We tweaked the sprint structure based on the 15 or so responses that we got to the survey that we had circulated. And then it's time to start the sprint itself.